So I am trying something different. I am trying to honestly learn to connect with talking to the camera. And I just completed my 30-day challenge with Renee Coakley. Her program, the Build Your First Option 6-week program. And it has been amazing. So I want to say shout out again to Renee Coakley. And if you have not watched my last video, I did a whole review on her program. So please check that out. But I'm sitting here thinking about, okay, I know what I want to talk about, and let me figure out how to structure what I'm going to talk about. And I just can't do it. I don't like to sit and sketch out my videos. It's something about that I just cannot do. And so I just turned on the camera and I'm like, okay, let me try to talk about the topic and just start from the beginning, middle, and end, but it's still not connected. And I'm someone, I have to connect with what I'm talking about. I have to connect to the idea of me talking to the camera. And I want to say that my first hurdle was actually getting myself to talk to the camera. And so Renee's program really lifted that fear that I had. It really did. And honestly, I would recommend, if anyone wants to start sharing their stories on YouTube, and just looking for that to be an avenue to create your first option, or looking for what can come out of that, I highly recommend her program. And so again, check out my last video that I did before this one. You'll see the review. And I think that one is called I Stopped Hiding. So I am so grateful to be able to turn on the camera and talk. However, I realized when I was trying to do this video, like this is like the 4th take, and I realized that I'm not going to want to do this if I don't connect with the fact that I'm talking to the camera. And I am someone who processes things out loud. So I could be just, here and just kind of processing things out loud without a problem. And I feel like this is how I want to use my opportunity to show up here on camera and on YouTube. I just want to sit as if I'm just processing out loud, instead of feeling like, I need to structure the beginning, middle, and end of my video. So this might be just me practicing, and I might just still upload it, or it might just be, I don't know what this is, but I feel like I have to learn to get comfortable with not having my videos planned out. I need to connect with the fact that I'm just processing things out loud. I just have a camera on my face because I can do it, but it's just like, I think the way I've been doing it is just not working for me. So let's see how this goes. I don't know, but we're gonna see if I can just kind of get into the moment of me processing like I do off camera. But I guess for me, what's been on my mind is that I realized that I have a problem, not even a problem. I realized that I never really thought about when it's time to pivot. I've always been someone who will continue going down a certain path, or continue doing something or a thing, and hope that whatever I want out of it comes out of it. Hope that the situation just fixes itself. I've always been like that. I've never been someone who likes to keep changing up things just until, I don't know, I just never been someone who likes to keep changing the course of things. And I don't know, that's just me. I've never been that type. And I'm sorry, I have my camera right here on my window facing the back, and there's like a walking path, and so there's people walking and they're looking up at me like, So this is kind of awkward, but you know what? Oh well, it is what it is. So that's what it's all about. It's about just just connecting with, the situation in real time. And that's what I'm going to do. So anyways, what was I saying? So I just realized that I'm not someone who likes to just keep changing. But I was thinking of a previous coworker, and we didn't technically work together. We just worked for the same company. And I noticed that this guy, I was at the company way before he was. And I would say within 4 or 5 months of him being in a company, he was already asking questions about another department, asking questions about, like the next thing. I don't know. It was just, he was always curious about what was next for him. And I'm like, you just got here. You're like 3, 4, 5 months in. Like, why do you care about another department? Why do you care about all of these things that you're asking? And I just kind of blew it off. And so there was another example where he was kind of brainstorming on his commute options. He was just like, okay, this is a good commute. I like this option. I like carpooling, but I feel like there's better. And I'm like, you just started carpooling with us last month. And, he was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to keep looking. But, this is really good. I mean, I thought it was a good case scenario for him, but he always had his eye on what was next. He was always thinking about, if this is not going to work for him, I'm already ready to look for something else. And I would say 3, 4 months later, guess what? Not too long after that, he was like, I found another carpool and I'm saving a little bit more time in my commute. And so I'm like, wow, that's when it opened up my eyes, because I'm like, I don't know, you might look at it as someone who's always just looking for the next thing, someone who thinks that the grass is always greener on the other side. But what if he's just someone who's not afraid to pivot? He's not afraid to find something that works out better for him. And I think those are just 2 examples that I can say about this guy. But there's actually more examples of him doing that. But when I sat and I thought about his pattern of always looking for the next thing, I looked at it as he's not afraid to pivot and find something that works out better for him. And that is something that I feel like I don't think I've ever had for myself. Sorry, I had to take a quick break, so I don't remember what I was saying. But I just realized that I never really thought about when it's time for me to pivot. When I think about the past, when I think about all of the opportunities or all of the things that I have stayed far too long in, I realized that it was because I either was afraid to pivot, or maybe it's because I think I never even asked myself, should I pivot? I always thought that if I stick it out, things will get better. And I don't know. It kind of dawned on me when I saw that this guy just keeps, he just keeps looking for the next thing. He has some type of system where he evaluates what works for him, what's not working for him, and he just pivots when necessary, and he does it so confidently. Now that I look back on it, I have probably stuck out some things where I probably should have been pivoted, but I just didn't. And now that I can see someone in real time, that is doing it, it's like holding up a mirror to myself, honestly. And I've been just thinking about just so many areas of my life where I could probably use a good pivot. And so I don't know what this is all about, but this is just something that came up for me, today. I was like, what if we weren't afraid to pivot? I don't even know if I'm the only one who feels this way, but I just felt like I always thought to stick things out. I've had jobs back in the day where I just stayed until, the end of time. But I'm thinking like, wow, what if I would have pivoted earlier on in my career? Where would I be? What if when I was trying to build my business, and I kept trying to push for a specific type of service or business model that honestly wasn't really working for me, but I thought if I stuck it out, things would get better or I'll see the fruits of my labor. And I didn't. I really didn't. I think if I'm being truthful right now and I'm really thinking about my situation, I think I'm pivoting now, because before I started posting on YouTube, I was actually posting on Threads. I was trying to promote my business on Threads, but it just didn't feel like me. I felt like a part of me was not there. And I don't like the fact of promoting my business and that's it. I need to connect to something. I need to connect to something that is beyond the business or the service. And I felt like my promotions was all about promoting a service, and that was it. I don't even feel like I was in it. It just didn't feel like all of me. So I decided to put a pause on it because I was like, this isn't me. I can't do this. I can't keep sitting here doing this. And that's when I found Renee Coakley's program. And once I found her program, I realized that if I want to promote something, I need to make sure that I'm in it. I need to make sure that it's represents all of me, not just the service. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but it just did for me. And now that I look back on it, I don't know if I'm going to go back and try to build a business around the same service. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that taking a pause and finding myself and creating a lane, or not even creating a lane, focusing on being visible, because it's not about just being visible here on YouTube. It's about what has happened inside of me. I feel like I've become confident. It's just a lot that has grown and shifted within. And so I felt like I needed to do that. So to me, that might be a form of pivoting, because like I said, I don't know if I'm going to go back to promoting a service that I thought was going to be my business overall. So yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts, because this is really what I do on a daily basis. I just kind of process things out loud. And so yeah, it's not going to be structured. It's not going to be perfect. And I think that is okay, because that's where you find yourself, you know, and this is just how I process things. And I just wanted to share my thoughts on just knowing when it's time to pivot, because I just feel like I never really explored that. And I think it's time for me to do that. And honestly, just watching this guy just constantly pivot, I think just it did something to me. And I like to see other perspectives and see how other people are doing things. And to me, I think the right situations will hold up a mirror to you. In this situation, actually did hold up a mirror to me, because watching this guy just pivot constantly definitely held up a mirror to me and exposed the fact that I never even questioned when was the right time for me to pivot. And you know, and because of that, I have stayed in things or whatever far too long. And now I'm starting to think, okay, well, where would I have been if I did pivot? How would my life have turned out if I just said, okay, this isn't working for me, let me see what else is for me? So I don't know, I know this video is getting too long, but I just wanted to just put that out there, you know. And if you are someone who struggles with pivoting, you know, I hope this video can inspire you to find a way to look at your life and figure out what areas of your life do you need to pivot.